E-Series data. Beginning search. Accessing data. Hot shelter. E-Series location confirmed. Unlocking hot shelter sector now.
So, we have defeated 2 of the 3 remaining E-Series robots. Only one remains, Zeta, and he's in the hot shelter, which Gamma can just open. Don't know why he still has controls, or really why he had them in the first place. Doesn't seem like something Robotnik would really want his robots to be able to open and close freely, but whatever, it's his decision. So, of course, that will be the last destination for Gamma. But first, of course, we're going to go grab that item I was talking about before this room was flooded because it was in attack mode or whatever. However, now it is open.
Here's your laser blaster.
Here's your laser blaster, which you've always had. You just put it down for a while. Alright, so now we got a fancier gun that can target more enemies more easily, so that's the perfect thing to be taking into the final area. Which, of course, is the same place it's always been. It's right over in the center door here. So, let's begin the search for the final brother of Gamma, if we want to call him that. So, E105 Zeta is somewhere around here, and if you looked at the little card for the level, or C rank, or whatever you want to call it, Zeta's looking a little bit different here. Anyway, though, we're not going to worry about that just yet. Now, I like the beginning of this level since we're charging into the base and going through the bathrooms first for some reason. And also you want to be wary because somewhere around here there's a chameleon, which... oh, there he is. Yeah, he's hit me before just showing up out of nowhere, which wasn't fun. But anyway, yeah, kind of a neat introduction, charging, like, sort of through the casual rooms, I guess, of the egg carrier. I guess you could call it that, but anyway, Hot Shelter is my least favorite Gamma stage. It's actually not that bad. In fact, playing it again, it was actually kind of fun, but as a kid, I hated this stage. It's the only one where the time limit is an actual issue. Because, yeah, when I was a kid, I thought this stage was pretty much impossible to get through without dying or running out of time. I mean, obviously that's not the case, because that would just be bad design if you had to die or run out of time. Still, though, you definitely want to make sure you target as much as you possibly can in a single shot, because you need all the time you can get. This is a fairly long stage, and targets aren't nearly as in abundance as they were in previous stages. Though that being said, this is also a good stage for grabbing animals if you need them, because Gamma overall just gets a whole lot of them. It's also a good stage for rings as well, because you get a whole lot of those, and it's a fairly long stage. Also, Gamma's stages do seem to have a lot of shields to keep you safe, so... wait, high-speed cargo station? Section? Whatever that said? Well, we're not going to get to it just yet, because first we have to have a crane section. Do be wary of any enemies that happen to appear here. I do believe there is a chameleon around the center of the area. I don't think I spawned him this time. There's a switch under those boxes that you're going to want to hit with your laser so that you can be picked up by this thing. And, by the way, how the actual hell does this all fit in the egg carrier? Because there is just straight up 2 tracks for trains and trains in the egg carrier. I don't know how all of this fits. Anyway, this is a pretty cool section, but also the section I thought was impossible to get through without running out of time when I was a kid. Again, that's not the case at all. But you are going to be wanting to hit a lot of targets at once, because you might be running a little low. I mean, 147 doesn't seem so bad, but do remember we had a lot more time for previous stages. Also, I got lucky in this stage. Like, this thing keeps moving really fast under me, and any second now. how did I live through this? Other than, I guess I just bounced off the rail there? I don't know how that happened. I probably should have died, which would have been a little unfair. I think the gimmick is supposed to be, you're supposed to get into the train cars so that you aren't thrown off the train when it decides to go really fast. But at the same time, the camera's kind of awful for that, you know? Like, you can't see the other track when you're in one of the train cars, so you don't know when you're supposed to go back. Not the best bit of design for an otherwise pretty cool section of the stage, and just get dropped off there. But anyway, yeah, we are nearing, the end, and those chameleons finally hit me. I told you they were a pain. And as such, I got kinda nervous for this part. Overly so, of course. There was nothing to worry about there, but still, I didn't want to get hit. This section's also pretty cool. You can get a lot of targets right here, and just start surrounded. I like that section. It's pretty cool. It's a good one. And not only that, it should also give you a little bit of a pick-me-up in terms of time if you're running low. And again, I'm still at 140, but it could be higher. And we're at the boss. So, E105 Zeta kinda got converted into a giant battle station that is also comprised partially of Dreamcasts. I guess Eggman just had those lying around and doesn't appreciate their true value. So there are a lot of missiles in play in this battle, so this'll probably make you a little bit nervous, but don't be too thrown off by them. Maneuver yourself around so that you're A, not in their path, and B, so that you can shoot them, and Zeta, and you should be fine. The fact that the platform around him moves actually helps you, provided it doesn't send you careening into a missile. You should be able to escape fairly easily, and we definitely aren't picking up Zeta's animal. He'll just float there forever. Ah well, I'm sure he'll adjust to the ecosystem that is the egg carrier after it's crashed into the ocean. Alright, so, what do we have to do now? Well, nothing to do in the egg carrier, so I guess we'll just leave. Why does this always happen?
E105 Zeta rescue complete. Units remaining. Gamma. Beta.
Alright, we gotta follow that beta. There is one final robot to take care of after all, and it is Gamma's brother, E101 Beta Mark II. Okay, so Gamma gets a unique bit of music for this battle. This is Crazy Robo, and it is my favorite final boss theme out of everyone's final boss themes. Well, kind of, but anyway, I don't want to spoil that. I'll be honest, when I was talking about Gamma's targeting not always working, I was talking about this boss. I got stuck on this guy for like half an hour because I kept getting punked by missiles, and when I did get punked by missiles, I would get hit by Beta's charge attack, which of course, considering he anime dodges or whacks your shots out of the way if you try to shoot him normally, after his charge attack, that's the only time to hit him. Also, once you get his health halfway down, he will fire a charged blast of energy. Beta overall is just a very anime final boss, and I do kind of feel bad about talking over the music, because despite the fact that this boss was a pain in the ass when I played it, it is a really fun and cool final boss. Also, once you are down to his last hit, he will fire a volley of charged shots, and his last one will be supercharged, and the explosion will be larger. He will also usually have one final volley of missiles, which, so many times screwed me over completely. Damn near did there. Actually, it did there. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did have to go one final round of them, but that's because I couldn't target all the missiles in time, and yeah, we're gonna have to see his cool explosion shot phase again. I feel a little bit bad, but considering this took me like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 tries? Somewhere in that ballpark. Far too many. I was definitely feeling very annoyed by this point, so I let that happen as long as I didn't get hit. And there's still one missile left over, but I kinda got a lucky shot in, and Beta is finished. And Gamma is going to end in his crouchy pose.
Mission complete.
That's every member of the E-Series taken care of, with one exception. So, that's the end of Gamma's story. Honestly, I do remember liking it as a kid, and it's held up really well. From what I remember of Sonic Adventure 2, I didn't like those shooty stages as much as I liked Gamma's story because they felt a lot clunkier to me. Maybe I'm misremembering, but all in all, I would definitely say that Gamma's stages are better than the shooty stages from 2. I mean, like Knuckles' stages from SA2, it's also better. Like, everything in Sonic Adventure 2 except the Sonic and Shadow stages are worse than they are in this game. And even then, at times, I don't like the level design as much in SA2, but this isn't SA2, so I shouldn't talk about that too much. I like Gamma's stages because, like most of the other non-Sonic stages, they're short, sweet, and fun to play through. And you know, even though it's a Sonic game, the whole shooting gallery mode is really fun. I mean, it's certainly a lot better than Shadow the Hedgehog, where, you know, gunplay was the whole point, but, oh boy, the guns in that game suck. Here, though, you know, tonally speaking, it works a lot more than Shadow, of course, because it's not dark and edgy, although this is definitely the more emotional attempt story-wise, in terms of stories. That sentence didn't make much sense. It's going for a more emotional thing, what with Gamma the Robot, going through development, realizing that he doesn't want to be controlled by Eggman, and then he sets free his brothers by destroying them, and eventually he too has to be destroyed because he's also part of the E-series. So heavier than the other stories in this game, but unlike other games in the series, I don't feel like it's too much. A little out there, again, in comparison to everything else, but not dark and edgy. And going back to the gameplay, which is what I was talking about before I suddenly segued into story, yeah, it works out a lot better than in Shadow the Hedgehog because you can target things, and that's the whole point of it. Was there even targeting in Shadow? Did you just, like, have to aim at shit? And it didn't work out very well. I remember it working kind of like that, i.e. knots. What else is there? Well, I guess I could just mention really quick, the fact that it is a shooting gallery, more so than just like a shooting game, I guess. I think that's an important description, because it feels more arcadey. Well, more arcadey than Shadow the Hedgehog, to be sure, but kind of more so than the other stories as well. You could probably make a case that the others are kind of arcadey-ish, but at the same time, I feel like this is... I really have to stop using the word arcadey or it'll get redundant, but honestly, Sega's really good at that type of gameplay most of the time. And, well, that's just about it. They're good at that sort of gameplay. I think it worked out well. I guess maybe you could have made slightly longer stages, and it wouldn't have been too bad. Not like SA2 long, but, you know, a little more length to them, maybe some tougher bosses that are a little less repetitive, but overall, as it stands, Gamma Story is very fun, and yeah, it's probably one of my favorite stories. Unlike Amy, who I really enjoyed, but the control scheme screwed it up, here, I thought it worked out mostly pretty well. Again, other than the Beta Mark II boss, where the targeting just plain didn't work well for me, and I was not able to hit those missiles really well at all. Sometimes it just didn't target them, period. I guess the only other thing to mention is the fact that Gamma's theme is pretty good. It's not lyrical like all the other themes, but I think it's still a pretty good one, even though I do prefer the lyrical ones just, you know, because they have lyrics. That's just about it for Gamma's story. Next time on Sonic Adventure, we'll do some Gamma Chow Garden, and after that, well, what else could there be? Eggman's plans have been foiled, Chaos is defeated. There couldn't possibly be anything else to this game, right?